Parents need to trust the system.
We're trying to fix what is broken.
Transformation is enough to ensure that the party remain relevant.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the latest episode of Beyond the Headlines. My name is Amalina Kamal, your host for this latest round of Information Digest. Now today we are going to be discussing about education and everything that has been developed under it. Now it is a sector that continuously evolves to meet the standards of our society. Why so? Because education is a cornerstone of progress, and recent changes have aimed at improving access, equality as well as inclusivity. Now without further ado, I'd like to include our guest that is here on set to join us in enlightening the whole discussion when it comes to education. We have former Deputy Education Minister Datuk P. Kamalanathan on Beyond the Headlines. Welcome, Datuk, to the show.
Thank you, Amalina, for inviting me and allowing me to share my thoughts and opinions about the education system in Malaysia. And also like to thank my good friend Adib for making this possible.
Well, thank you for introducing
Thank you.
And now Adib is our news editor that's also going to shed a little bit of light in terms of the recent developments we have seen, not just in education, but also a lot across the divide, where this is why we have Datuk Kamalanathan here with us. To start the discussion, I want to talk about the recent update that we have when it concerns SPM leavers here. Adib, maybe you can share with our audience this news.
Datuk, yesterday it was announced that some 11,000 candidates who sat for SPM in 2023 obtained straight A's. So, just an intro. Datuk, can you comment about, give your analysis on the results yesterday? What do you make of it?
First, let me take this opportunity to congratulate the students for successfully obtaining the results that they desired, the parents for supporting and motivating them to obtain the results, but above all, I would like to congratulate the teachers that have molded the student from a very young age. The student who got excellent results, they did not get it just by a year or 2 years before this. It started at a very young age, from primary school or probably from preschool, molded them from that age to where they have been. And in that instance, I must congratulate all the teachers that have helped to create successful children, irrespective of the results, but successfully completing 11 years or 12 years of compulsory education in Malaysia. But to give an analysis, I think the most important thing is not about what the next step of action the student is going to take, because in Malaysia, I think the pathway has been promoted and well spoken about by many education enthusiasts, many education champions, non-governmental organizations, political parties. They all undertake various events to explain to children what is the next pathway, what should they do next. For those who have done extremely well, there are their pathway, and for students who did not do that well, there are also pathway for them to reach the dream, to be a graduate. Because, for example, a student who didn't get straight A's, but probably got many credits, they have another different pathway where they can go into technical education and end up in the Malaysian Technical University, MTUN, and still become a graduate. So the opportunity now is open, and I think students must be able to choose. And for students who have done very well, many of them will want to do an MBBS program. Okay, they have to think carefully what is in front of them. MBBS program is well sought after. Not only MBBS, dentistry, pharmacies, lawyers, engineers, accountancy. There's many more than that. Please make the right decision, because this is a decision that's going to determine your future.
Right. And usually when it comes to like making that right decision, this is the gap that we see need a little bit more assistance, especially connecting the students or potential students into the tertiary education, right? So in that respect, Dato', what sort of, I suppose, opportunities should parents actually seek for in terms of bridging this divide?
Okay. The first thing the parents need to do is talk to the child. What do you want to be? What do you want to do? During my tenure as the Deputy Minister of Education, I visited some universities and not secondary school universities. And I talked to children, I asked them, for example, a child who does an accountancy program or just say even university education degree. So when I asked the child, is this what you want to be? No, sir, actually I want to do accountancy, or actually I want to do fashion designing. Actually I want to be in creative technology, but my parents want me to do this. And the child is doing it. And the child may be successful, may not be successful. That's another thing. But for me, the first and foremost important thing is the child must be able to make a decision what the child wants to do. And the parents must support the child's ambition to do what the child wants to do. Then you'll have a successful formula. But if one of these lacks, that means the parents don't agree with what the child wants to do, or the child does not agree what the parents want the child to do, we will have some problems. Most of it will not be seen, but the results will show us that this is not something which is connected with the child. So that decision making is very important. Most children now, those days were different, most children by now would have researched what they want to do.
Because
some may have also enrolled what they want to do. The accessibility of education and affordability. These are two things I've always said. When it's education, two important factors that one need to consider is accessibility and affordability.
Just to kind of tie it back again with this whole SPM, I suppose, news that we've seen so far, the Education Director General, Azman Adnan, also said that, this year's result has shown an overall improvement and marked the best result since 2013. Now, that is quite a feat. But, of course, academic results is one thing, but we want to understand the believability towards examination itself, because on the other spectrum, apparently there's about more than 10,000 students who did not participate in SPM. You want to talk about tertiary education, but then you have students not actually enrolling in actual examinations that get them there.
There's two things you have raised, Malina. One is the students are done successful and all that, people think and say, how so many students. I think we should stop questioning students have done well, okay? If they got 11 A's, it's 11 A's. If they got 10 A's, it's 10 A's. Let's not question how come they can do. The exams now must be much more easier than those days. No, let's not get into that. They have done well, congratulations, well done, give them a hand, support them whatever needs to be done in order to go to the next career. That's one. Number two, about 10,000 students did not attend the examination. The government has various initiatives to make sure children go to school. See, one of the major initiatives that we have done is the compulsory education. Malaysia has just got into this requirement of 12 years of compulsory education. Those days, many years ago, after your primary exams, ujian penilaian or standard 5, standard 6, when you fail, you don't proceed, you stop. 6 years of education. And then there was in PMR, SRP. When you fail SRP, you don't go forward, you stop. So it ends 9 years of compulsory education. But that is gone now. We have assessment in all level of education. So we have now, basic we have 11 years of education. Not enough, because there is the requirement of 12 years education. So they include preschool, 1 year of compulsory preschool, 6 year primary school, 5 years secondary school. That completes 12 years. So technically, a lot of students who finished Form 5, they have completed 12 years of education. But 10,000 students did not sit for the examination that completes to get a certificate for that examination. Okay, it's a very complicated situation, because this 10,000 children is accessible. That means we know they came to school, we know they attended from primary to secondary, but suddenly they don't sit for exams. The only person who have access to these children are the teachers in various schools. The teachers will know the students who did not attend the exam. I have an experience when I served as a member of parliament, member of the House of Representatives. In my constituency, Ulu Selangor, I have a few secondary schools. One of the schools that I visited and its impact in my mind till today is the Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Serendah. They had a program where teachers, this is beyond their tanggungjawab hakiki, their core job function. This is beyond, not part of the core function. A group of teachers will gather. They will identify each teacher to visit 10 parents okay, during their tenure. So after school, they will go and visit this child. There's a few objectives why they visit. One, to see the environment the child lives in. Education, do they have the accessibility to education? How is the family? Does the family need help? All this thing is gathered during this visit. So all the students, all the teachers who are teaching in Form 5 have direct access not only to the child but also to the parents. If the child is not in the exam hall, the teacher will know where the child is, what is the problem. So before that could happen, they make sure the parents are in contact. So whatever problem there is, it is resolved even before the examination. There is communication, children will come and go, parents will come and go, and this is important. Of course, we cannot make sure that all teachers in this country do this. Very unfair. But then we have the Parents and Teachers Association. This can be something undertaken by the Parents and Teachers Association. If you look, every cohort we have nearly 500,000. Almost all sit for the examination. I just read the data. Out of all the students who sat for the examination, 0.04%, I think 4% of students failed all subjects. But yes, I mean, even them, there is an avenue of education. But if you do not attend examination, that's going to be bad. So we have solution. Everybody needs to work together. The Ministry of Education, now, they know where these schools are, where the teachers are, where the students are. Concrete mechanism. And this doesn't happen by surprise. It's just like tomorrow, Monday is the examination, or Tuesday is the examination. Monday you go, oh, the student, it's not that.
Right.
The teachers will know there is a pattern of attendance, examination.
But in the case of this more than 10,000 students here, I mean, surely that number should raise enough alarms to kind of have this sort of like early intervention for them to sit in their exams.
I absolutely agree with you. That's why I say, teacher in the school know that this student may not be attending or will not attend. But what initiative has been undertaken, we do not know. We really don't know what the problems are. Okay, but if it's got to do with cost of living, monetary, that shouldn't be excused, because there's a lot of system the government has provided to provide that assistance. If the child is not well, that's another thing. Okay, but there must be cases. So we really need to go and study very deeply on the reason why these 10,000 children did not go. The data are there. All these students are accessible. I think we can undertake, anyone can undertake a survey, a research to be done why, and there is a solution. There will surely be a solution.
I mean, another part of assessing the data is also having to create this sort of like immediate action to attend to this 10,000.
Exactly. How can we help them to progress? That's important. How can we help them to progress? The education system in Malaysia has been has gone through many transformation. Okay, when we implemented the education blueprint in 2013, 2025, it was an amazing feedback. For the first time in Malaysia, the education blueprint was not just a report. It was a blueprint that was done with the consultation of nearly 50,000 population in Malaysia across the board. So it wasn't done by a group of politicians who sat in Putrajaya to come out with the blueprint. It was an input gathered from 50,000 people across the board. A draft was printed. The draft was then brought on a roadshow before we could make a final presentation of the blueprint. And it encompasses everything. In fact, the Malaysian education blueprint was also used by other countries to see how their education system can be upgraded. But having said that, I think right now, to strengthen the education system, we need transformation. We need the syllabus to be strengthened. We need the curriculum to be strengthened. And I just remember a few days ago, Tengku Mahkota Johor have also said the same thing. And that's why I think that a lot of people, we all should put our head together. And coming from Tengku Mahkota Johor himself, I mean, his concern for education has always been there. He's an all-rounder person, sports development, social development, and education. He said it right. I think it's time for us to relook at the syllabus, strengthen it. How do we make it much more accessible? How do we make it much more effective with technology? Gone were the days where the books are printed every 3 to 4 years. We reprint the book. Today, we may have to reprint the book every year. The cost of printing may go. So no, but don't have to do it because there's technology. All these books can be e-books. So students can just flip through netbooks in the schools to get the books done. Homeworks can be done online. So there's a lot of things that we need to do, and I think we should start. I mean, I'm sure the ministry have already started working on this, but it needs to be expedited.
Adopting technology as part of the environment in terms of learning here, it's not anything new. We have seen tuition centers being transform into e-tuition centers. We've seen physical homeworks being uploaded on databases from schools themselves. But it's just not necessarily being integrated across all schools here. When you were the Deputy Education Minister then, what were some of the plans that you thought today would be up and running already, but it fell through?
You see, when I went into the Ministry of Education, we already implemented, and it was running on the go, was the Bestari Net program, One Bestari. That was a huge plan we had to give internet access to all 10,000 schools in this country, the 4G internet access. It was a very ambitious program. But it was a program that made every head turn to Malaysia. And I'll tell you why. One of the first ministers I met in the Ministry of Education who visited Malaysia to understand or to know why Malaysia embarked on such a huge project, digitalization, internet access for all schools in this country, was the Minister of Education from Finland. The whole world knows that Finland is right on top as far as quality of education is concerned. And you have the Minister of Education from Finland coming to Malaysia and asking us one question: what made you make this decision of digitalization all over Malaysia? And I answered her, we had a delegation from the Ministry of Education, I was representing my minister, and I answered her, look, Malaysia is a very huge country with plenty of schools in the rural area. And in Bahasa Melayu, you said sekolah-sekolah kawasan pendalaman. And our rural area schools are very, very rural area. Sometimes we need 3 or 4 mode of transportation before we reach that school. Okay? In some instances, some schools is not accessible at all. The only way to access the school is by helicopter. But the children study in that school. We cannot give infrastructure development to the school. We cannot have a few story buildings in this area because the cost will be so big. So there's one way to have equality in education is through technology. With internet access, a child who studies, for example, in Barrio will have the same teaching or learning with a child who studies in city center Kuala Lumpur because of technology, because one teacher can teach a student in Barrio, one teacher can teach a student in Kuala Lumpur. Same subject matter explained to the children across. So they get the same quality education using technology. That was what it was planned. So we did a lot of good work. And if it was allowed to happen, and we had virtual learning environment where schools, teachers don't have to mark attendance, parents don't have to come to school to check on students' development because there were a mechanism in the dashboard, in the Ministry of Education's dashboard, school's dashboard. Parents have access to the dashboard. They log into the dashboard. They see whether the child is in the school, what the child is studying today, what curriculum activities the child has, what food is being served in the canteen. Does the child have a discipline problem? You don't have to call. There'll be an email sent to you and you go to the school. Only then you walk into the school. Some schools were already implementing this. We wanted all schools to implement it one fine day. But unfortunately, when we lost in 2018, the entire program collapsed. It didn't move on. But the only thing moved on was digitalization. And, well, I've always said this. I don't like saying this, but I need to say this because COVID somehow or other helped us to fast forward the digitalization in education because we start having classes from home. Where everybody needs to have access to a computer, classes went on.
I mean, all this sort of influencing, all this sort of like trying to get people to buy into this whole digital adaptation. The progress was very slow, but then with COVID happened, suddenly everybody is like, okay, let's
exactly.
do it.
In the education blueprint, it was by end of 2025. This has to be done, or a certain number of percentage must be seen. But we saw that happening faster than 2025. And that's why I say I do not know. Thank God we had COVID. No, I will not, never. I'm a victim of COVID. I was hospitalized for 14 days. I don't want anyone to go through that experience. But in all these things, if you ask me what good thing has happened, the education digitalization.
Silver lining there. I want to highlight, because earlier this year, there's a report that Malaysia ranked low in its PISA score. And this highlights like a pressing need in terms of how we should, again, as Datuk mentioned, relook at the syllabus and what we're actually trying to not sell, but trying to help our students, pick up in their skill sets. So Datuk, moving forward, we know that students are also not taking up STEM. They're not, and then there's this whole debate behind, the DLP programs and stuff like that. How can at least stakeholders here, when I say stakeholders, the ministry, the parents, whoever who's teaching the students here, be better advocates of a seamless education system?
You see, part of the process the ministry had, the vision was to democratize education, pendemokrasian pendidikan. Okay, that's what we were looking at. We wanted parents to be involved in the decision making of the child's education. What the child should do, what the child shouldn't do, what is needed for the child. We wanted the parents to be involved in the decision making. And one of the decision making element that we gave the parents to do is deciding whether the child should do DLP, dual language program. We implemented PPSMI, but it didn't take on because we had problems from grassroots. And we realized that we didn't have enough English teachers to teach maths and science in English in school. So we took back that program and we implemented DLP. And that DLP proved that PPSMI was not implementable because out of the 10,000 schools available at that time, only about 2,000 schools opt out to offer DLP, take up DLP. That means there was 8,000 schools who did not have the facility or ability to do DLP. But DLP was the way forward because DLP was not a forced education system. Okay, it was when we receive an application from the school, when 15 parents write in to say that the child needs to do DLP and the school has the facility and a teacher to teach, then Ministry of Education will consider. Having said that, a lot of parents were not happy because they said vernacular school DLP is not workable because Tamil language or Chinese language is there. But it's not going to disrupt that school process. This is just to help the student to strengthen. It's important because everybody understands the international language here is English language. The language of technology, people know, is English language. And Bahasa Melayu is important, the most important language for us in Malaysia because that is a unification language. It unites Malaysians with the national language, Bahasa Melayu, and Bahasa Inggeris as the international language, and our mother tongue language is the third language. It's being taught in school, vernacular school as well. So it is important for us to understand the importance of English language, at the same time not sidelining other language. And the Ministry of Education has always focused, and whatever strengthening of other languages is being done in all schools, the core intention of the Ministry of Education is MBM, MBI. Okay, memartabatkan bahasa Melayu and memperkukuhkan bahasa Inggeris. That is the theme. Everyone in the Ministry of Education, we want to do that. So we will never sideline bahasa Melayu. We will be there. English should be strengthened and vernacular language in primary school. So that is important and that's being done, and it is a work in progress. Like what you have said just now, Malina, parents need to trust the system, okay, and support the system and this strengthening is done to help the child so that the child can progress better without undermining the other elements of education. And many a time people ask me, why vernacular education? Why vernacular education? Can there be one school? And they've always given a reason of saying that vernacular school system is the cause of this unity, which is very wrong because there is no proven case study or research done that this is a school that causes the unity problem, because the education syllabus that goes to all schools is same. Respect to races, religion and community is all there. But we must remember, in UNESCO there's two recommendations that is very important for us to understand. Number one, UNESCO has agreed that the fact that teaching a child using mother tongue in an early age will help the child understand better. One. Number two, they have said that you need diversification in education. Diversification is pelbagai sistem pendidikan. Diversification in education is already existing in Malaysia. We have vernacular school, you have the normal type of school. In other countries, they're trying to see how they can diverse education.
Right.
We already have a diverse education system. So we just need to strengthen. We just need to make sure the syllabus is better. I'm going back to Tunku Mahkota Johor again, because he said so many things about education, but that one particular point that said that, yes, that's the point, the syllabus. And the syllabus are done by the teachers for the children. It's not done by bureaucrat, or it's not done by politicians. The syllabus is done by teachers, because teachers who taught, they get transferred to the education ministry. They will sit as a team and prepare the syllabus.
When it comes to education, there's also another level of it. Like it's for, institutions or at least the local authorities to not work in silos, or schools to not work in silos. But this is not the case when it comes to Sarawak, because they're pushing for a decentralization of their education system. But it doesn't mean that they're not entirely following whatever is stated under federal laws. It's just that they want full visibility and full control of how they are involved in student development here. Your thoughts in terms of how realistic the plans are, at least for the state of Sarawak?
See, Sarawak has got a very unique administration. And I'm actually very proud to say that they have made the right decision. Okay, they do not want to disrupt the process. They don't want to create a problem, but they are able to manage their system. They are still very centralized examinations. SPM is still centralized examination. Teachers are still, although they want more teachers from Sarawak or the Borneo Island to teach in Sarawak.
That's the decentralization aspect that they're trying to say.
So that will not happen so soon, but they still, because as far as Minister of Education is, the teacher is sent to Sabah and Sarawak as part of unification. We understand other schools, other teaching mechanism, the children, the culture. It's very important for us. But most of the teachers who are trained, Sarawakian and Sabah teachers, are sent back to their state, and some of them, not many, are still here. And what the Sarawak state government has implemented recently is something that they have got collectively upon consultation with their locals. Okay, this is what they need, and it is their right to implement. And I think it is workable. They will do it. Sarawak has got a lot of tertiary education, private tertiary educations are done very well, like Swinburne University is there, and many other universities are also placed there. We've got University of Malaysia Sarawak, and I think they are heading the right pathway. And they will do whatever it needs to strengthen the education system. And if there's something that we all can follow here, then we could follow. But again, whatever we do must be in tandem with the, as citizen of Malaysia, we must make sure and we follow the curriculum of education and to strengthen the education system in the country.
Datuk, we have run through our list of questions when it comes to education here per se, but I also want to go into another realm as far as a party member is concerned. So we know that the Malaysian India Congress, MIC here, will be celebrating its 77th anniversary soon. Now that's 7 decades long, and it's part of Malaysian history. Malaysia was built with MIC and Barisan Nasional there, together with MCA as well as UMNO. Datuk, over the years, how do you think the party has progressed?
Okay. I thought it was going to be solely education. I was pretty excited. When it comes to politics, I have to... Your questions are valid. Okay. Well, the party has evolved from those days. I came to become a member of this party when Tan Sri Manika Vasagam, the late Tan Sri Manika Vasagam, was the president. I became active, and the late Tun Samivelu took out the party, and I've seen many MIC presidents. And today the party is led by a young leader by the name of Tan Sri S.A. Vigneswaran. How have we evolved from those days? Yes, Malaysia has evolved. according to time. And from a time when there was no technology, today there's plenty of technology. What I said in a coffee shop discussing with some friends, if it's taped by somebody else on the other table, it becomes news, which does not happen those days. So it was easier to manage political party those days compared to today, because technology is so fast evolving. With this kind of environment, every political party must be careful, cautious what they do. And Malaysia is a very unique country because of our multiracial, multi-religion, multi-ethnic, and everything becomes so sensitive nowadays. What used to be a joke 10, 15 years ago, today we don't talk about it because we are afraid that it may hurt. Why? We have let the situation to be here. But MIC being a party under the Barisan Nasional coalition, like what Malina said just now, 77 years ago, this political party joined hands not to participate in an election. These three political parties got together to seek independence. And we've got the independence. Of course, along the line, the last few years, people may not talk about it because they've taken things for granted. Of course, Malaysia is safe, very peaceful. Prime Minister come and go, but there is no revolution. The Prime Minister takes over the government decently, professionally handed over, and he moves on. So as far as that's concerned, that's maturity. And MIC has gone through that as well. And MIC somehow or other is blessed because we've had a party leader that suits the time. Okay? When late Tun Samiwelu became president, he was the right person to lead the community at that point of time. In 2018, when we lost the elections, it was the first time the Malaysian Indian Congress went into opposition. At a time when everybody shied away from the responsibilities, we have this young gentleman who used to serve the youth movement. I used to be a youth movement under his leadership. Tan Sri Vigneswaran took the responsibility to lead the party. And that was a time where many people in the party was leaving the party and going to join other political parties. He had to bring back all the members together, and he did that in 2018. He was able to pull all his resources together, and he kept this party together. Okay? And how MIC has evolved, the transformation of MIC also took place during Tun Samiwelu's time. His focus was education, because he knows education is the only way that's going to bring the community in front. We had problems of getting students into technical schools because of the qualification. He then set up TAFE College in Seremban. And then we have a problem of students getting places to do medicines in school, but public university. And private universities was too expensive. He then formed the idea of setting up AIMS University. Today, AIMS University have produced thousands of graduates who have done MBBS. I just came back from the convocation. The university is doing so well. I've always focused on affordability and accessibility. AIMS has provided that. We are the only Indian-based political party in Malaysia or around the world to have our own university. This is part and parcel of transformation of the party, and this transformation will continue.
But then again, Datuk, because as you pointed out, since GE 14, I mean, the party has undertaken transformation. But do you think, from your observation as party members and someone sitting in the Central Working Committee, do you think this transformation is enough to ensure that the party remain relevant, especially for the Indian community in the country?
Till today, about a month ago, we handed over scholarship and education loan for many students. These scholarship and loans were handed over by Yang Amat Berhormat Prime Minister. We are the only political party in this country that hands out this education loan and scholarship. No other Indian-based political party have done that. Not only this year. From the time Tun Samiwelu led MIC, now with Tan Sri Vigneswaran, today we are giving more scholarship. Those days was loan. Today we are giving away scholarship. And when a party focuses on education, we are focusing on the next generation. Okay? And that's what the party is doing now. The president of MIC, Tan Sri Vigneswaran, is so focused on bringing new leadership into the party. MIC is the only political party that has got a registered under the constitution to have a wing called Putra MIC. No other political party has Putra MIC. Putra MIC's vision was to create young leaders, and they have. In Putra MICs, we have members who have double PhD holder, we have doctors, engineers, lawyers, accountants, teachers. They are all part and parcel of Putra MIC. That is the future of MIC. We have the youth movement. The youth movement of MIC, who consists of youths below the age of 40, are also very professional, highly educated people. So, but if you ask me, is that enough? No. It's work in progress. MIC has faced the toughest situation. We have never faced a tougher situation than where we are today. And I don't think we can go worse than this. But the community is seeing now, whatever said and whatever done, at the end of the day, if you need help, they go to an MIC chairman. A nearer chairman which is nearer to them, they go and see him, look for help, seek for help, education assistance, anything. That person then come to the party headquarters to explain the problem he has, and MIC will continue to serve. MIC is still visited by so many people in the MIC headquarters for various kind of assistance. If MIC is not relevant, we won't have anybody visiting us or talking to us. Today, we nearly have about 3,500 branch chairmen across Malaysia, except for Sarawak. Everywhere, there is an MIC branch chairman serving the community to his best or to her best of ability. They are not paid. They do this solely voluntarily. And they have never told us that nobody sees them anymore. So, to answer your question, will MIC be relevant? Yes. We will be relevant because the party leadership, especially now with Tan Sri Vigneswaran and his deputy, Datuk Sri Saravanan, very focused in ensuring that the community's care is taken care. And they have excellent relationship with the government of the day. And the government of the day, led by the Prime Minister, is trying their best to help the community as much as possible.
Right. We're going to go into the party's election that's coming up. But before that, I just want to ask you your opinion personally in terms of, you know, the party's presence in Parliament itself. Like, because we only have one person fielding, you know, I mean, I suppose, in Parliament itself. Do you think with this lack of visibility, it further dissociates MIC to the Indian community? Because we have several other Indian parties sprouting up, right? And when we talk about options in a democratic context, it's okay. But when we talk about the, you know, splitting or at least dividing a certain community further, it certainly does not help the plight of the community.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Well, the sole member of Representative House of Representative from MIC lower house is Datuk Sri Saravanan, but we've got a few representatives more in the upper house. The numbers may be small, but the voice, the representation we have outside the Parliament, with about more than 3,500 branch chairmen who take their responsibility seriously, I think we are managing it okay. We have got state representative, for example, in Johor, in Malacca, we have state representative, and we have state assemblymen in Pahang. So along the line, our representative in each state work closely with the unity government, and when there's no unity government, we also work closely with all the government that's representing them of the day. So MIC may have very less voice in the Parliament, but generally across the country, I think we are doing our best to represent the people's need. And the party's mechanism to reach out to the party leadership to raise problems are open. So most of the issues it's, relating to the party and community, the party leadership is aware. And this matter is brought up to the government and the ministry's concern.
By the way, Dato', I just want to side wave on, you know, recently there is a new Indian based party that was formed, and among the members included former MIC party leaders and party members. having that said, is this raise a concern on MIC on the support from the Indian community? I mean, whether it's going to be divided or whether it will put MIC further on eggshells, I mean, to provide the best services to the people.
Okay. You are referring to a good friend of mine, Punitan. I've known him for many years. He's an intelligent, hard-working gentleman. I wish him all the best in his new political party, and I'm sure they will do well. But for MIC, MIPP was not the only political party that was formed for the community. Many other political party has been formed, is being formed, will be formed. But MIC, after 77 years, we have seen everything. The party members are united. Few may go, but many will come because they see the potential, they see the future of party. But one thing I would like to share is that the party president, Tan Sri Vigneswaran, is working very hard to consolidate and bring all parties together. It's a work in progress. I am sure that we are all aware that the party president is having an excellent relationship with many political parties, including Makal Sakti. They've had a few meetings, Datuk Thanendran and Tan Sri Vigneswaran. Political party can be formed. I mean, the registrar of societies will allow you to form many political parties. But what's important is these political parties to get together and to raise issue concerning the community. Because at the end of the day, we are representing the same community. Various representation may be needed, but the goal is one, to help the community. No one Indian political party will be formed thinking that not to help the community. All political parties form one community. But all these political parties will come back to MIC. Why? Because someone needs education, can AIMS help? And yes, we never see that. We assist them. We provide them not only a place to future, to give them a good education, but to help them with scholarship, will help them with loan. I mean, nobody else can do that.
I mean, definitely you can name some. Just now your question, it's all for you. But Datuk, you know, there's also talks between, there's like frictions within the Barisan Nasional coalitions between these parties, like between, especially if I can just like address the elephant in the room here, MIC and UMNO, and also because MIC is being singled out as the weakest link within that coalition. Your thoughts, your comments.
MIC used to be winning 100% of its parliamentary and state seats those days. The numbers were strong, but we were still the smallest winner. Percentage 100%, others will lose, but we will still win. We stood by Barisan Nasional. You see, in every, let me give you another example. In a family of siblings, say 7 or 8 people, not all 7 or 8 people will be very successful at the same time. Someone will do well, someone will not do well. It's the responsibility of the person who's doing well to give a hand to the one who's not doing well and lift them up. That's a process that we need to go through. Okay, yes, we have seen tough times, but historically MIC, MCA and UMNO has been together for a long time, in good times, in bad times. And the fact that we are still together in bad time, people can say a lot of stuff, but if there's issue, we talk, we iron out. Certain issues, many issues are spoke and solutions are found. You cannot take what you see in news, writings, that all is not well. Tell me, even between husband and wife, there's been arguments, but they find a way. In a family, father, mother, children don't talk to parent, don't talk to father, don't talk to mother, but this is family. End of the day, we are one family. So as of now, there's no issues. Yes, we have issues, we have sorted it out, we discuss. There's a process of discussion. We find solution and we move forward. For example, the last by-election in Kuala Kubu Baru, we worked together and we've got a good result. And the next by-election is coming up soon. We'll work together again. So it is a journey. We have not reached the destination. It's a long haul. So we will work together as long as the coalition is together.
Right.
By the way, Datuk, can we narrow in on the party election? And this time around, I'm sure that MIC has gone through numerous party elections, but this time around, why is this party election important for MIC per se?
Okay. This is probably the last party election before the next GE. We've got the party president elected uncontested. And for the first time in Malaysian Indian Congress, we have the party president and deputy president are so united. There is no team A or team B in MIC right now. Normally, whenever we near party elections, there'll be team A, team B. Today, MIC has got no team A, team B. There's only one team, Tan Sri Vigneswaran, and the team. And we'll be facing the election for the other party posts for deputy president, vice president, and the central working committee. My only hope is that the deputy party president's position is not contested, because then it gives the leadership foundation to work together further, because they worked together since 2018, and everything is doing well. We have now, this party leadership is now in the process of building a new twin tower in KL, Jalan Ipoh, to replace the present building we have. This is a leadership that's working on it. This is the same leadership we used to owe bank loan on Ames University, a few $100 million. And after this leadership took over, they managed to, now we are debt free. The loan was taken care, we've paid off the loan, and the university belongs to us in total, no more under a bank. So these are the things that this party leadership has done. So this need to be continued. And this is also good for the party's plan to reform and bring transformation with younger leaders. These two leaders have seen this and they want to do that. And so this party is election for that purpose, for rebranding and transforming, and also preparing a new team to face the next general election.
I mean, because, you know, the party president also mentioned that we need more young people within the party itself. Yeah. Probably you can give us a little bit of highlight in terms of how the party is working towards getting more young voices heard.
Yeah. For example, I've just told you about Putra MIC. So the younger generations are there. Most of the, in Putra MIC's age, there's a limit of 30, 35. So the moment they finish that, they go up to the senior leadership, youth, or even the main leadership. For example, the present youth leader, Yang Berhormat Ravin Kumar, used to be the Putra chief. So that is the leadership. Okay, so this transition, the MIC does not have many avenues for promotion in government services. Okay, and there's many talents, so many capable leaders who can take up these responsibilities. Unfortunately, there's not many opportunities, and we need to be patient. Like me myself, it took me 26 years after being in the party to get a chance to contest in a by-election. Okay, so in politics there needs to be patience, and you have to be loyal to the party. There are many younger generation who's ready to take responsibility, and eventually they will lead this party. And I know Tan Sri Vigneswaran, after this is his third term, he's got an important responsibility to fulfill to get the building, MIC's tower ready. So he's working on it. And he needs more support, younger generation, to handle the political work. That will eventually happen. We will see that happening in the next 1 year.
One last question for MIC. If you are appointed or elected to the party's CWC again, what do you plan to do, especially in strengthening the support for MIC?
My focus has always been education, and I'm a communicator. My first qualification, education qualification, is mass communication, and I majored in public relations. And there's a lot of things that we need to communicate. We need to inform the community what we have done. Those days we were told not to blow our own trumpet. But nowadays it does not work like that. Yeah. Okay. Last time, if you say that, or don't blow your own trumpet. Now, if we don't blow our own trumpet, nobody else will. So we have had so many successful programs. Say our core success, I would say, I mean, all gratitude to the late President Tun Samivelu, is our education institutions. Okay. Today, AIMS University is one of the best medical schools in this region. And it is accessible and it is affordable. And we will continue to do that, promote it, strengthen it, and look into other areas of education, how we can make it more accessible, get more children, give them affordability, support them. The government has got an excellent scheme of PT-PTN. How can we support? If PT-PTN is not enough, how can we support? We want to create more leaders. That's the theme of AIMS University, creating a new leader. So that's what we want to do, and we'll be focused on that. These are the areas I can help the party if I get re-elected again, should I contest for the Central Working Committee.
And these are actually the highlight of what grassroots efforts is all about at the end of the day. I know you've explained everything very well, I might add, but at the end of the day, is MI still relevant to the Indian community?
Of course it is. I have no doubt about it. It'll continue to be relevant. Dulu, kini, dan selama-lamanya.
Thank you. There you have it. Datuk Kamalanathan, as well as Adik Povera on the set of Beyond the Headlines. Now, if you do like this particular episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. If you haven't already, you will not only get Beyond the Headlines update, but other news report from NSC Online. Again, I would like to thank my guests here on set. Datuk, thank you so much again for being on Beyond the Headlines.
Thank you, Amalina. Thank you, Adib.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Adib, as well.
Thank you so much, Amalina.
Don't forget to follow us on X, Instagram, Threads, as well as Facebook. My name is Amalina Kamal, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.